All right, guys. So this is actually the last of the spring winter class. So we take next week off for July 4th, obviously July 3rd and 5th. We will reconvene July 10th and 12th. The 16-week program starts on July 12th. So I'm going to really quick introduce Erica because she's limited on time tonight. So Kevin and I had probably, I don't know what was it like. It was a pretty long conversation we all had on Monday. And Erica's in the same position. Yeah, Erica's in the rock program, just like Willie is. So they will be very valuable to you, to everybody, because they will be, hopefully soon they'll both be correspondent lenders with Rock, because that's impressive. They'll have us, I think they have three different lines for their warehouse lines: 7 million, 10 million, 25 million. I haven't been in privileged enough now to know how those are going to be determined. But when you guys think about this group and having a couple correspondent lenders and maybe 8 to 10 more people that could qualify, plus all the other lenders we have that we can broker for and lend, and all the lenders, people that can lend money in the group, and associates that can lend money, Gap, even DWIS, I honestly believe we're going to have access to 100, $250 million by the year's end. Erica and Willie will definitely be key parts of that, considering that they're in the Rock program. So Erica, do you want to just introduce your background to everybody, just so I don't get it wrong?
Sure. Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Erica Walker, and just wanted to share a little bit about myself. I have this is my 25th year in the real estate and lending industry. I started out working for a finance company and then transitioned into an account executive role and things like that after I graduated college, and just kind of moved around into literally every aspect of lending, either on the residential side, whether it was processing, underwriting, funding, closing, and then back in due diligence reviews, risk management reviews. I've done contracts for Fannie Mae, especially around the time that things got a little bit difficult in the industry. I also worked as a commercial underwriter with before Silver Hill was, when they first started as Silver Hill Financial. They've since, revamped themselves as Silver Hill Funding. So, but they have a lot of good products out there as well. So, and yes, I do. I am set up with several private lenders and things like that. I actually just spent the last 13 years underwriting at Wells Fargo on the exception level. And so they're kind of drawing down their business a little bit. So they've been just going through mass rounds of layoffs. And actually, I just heard about another layoff round of layoffs yesterday. So yeah, we hit everyone really, really hard. So my focus has always been in the last few years, really just trying to get over into more of the commercial side and things like that. So what I decided to focus on was, really establishing myself as a lender, being that I have the underwriting background and things like that, and know a lot of the different players in the industry. For me, it made sense. So it was interesting when I saw one of the Zoom videos, and I believe it was Will that was, talking about Rock Capital and everything. And I was like, yeah, I'm signed up with them. So, but there's actually like 3 or 4 that kind of have exactly the same thing. I just actually had a meeting with one earlier today, where we were getting everything set up. And I actually like their platform a little bit better than Rock Capital. So, I mean, there's just plenty of options there. And then, I'm still looking for information on, different platforms and lending capabilities and things like that. So I look forward to, the collaboration with everyone, just being able to pool all the knowledge and everything like that, and then seeing what we can actually accomplish. I think sometimes people get scared of the commercial side because, the transactions are a little bit different. And I always tell people, it doesn't matter, I'm an underwriter at heart. And so I just need a set of guidelines, a checklist, a tear sheet, or something like that, to really determine whether or not, which direction this can go. So I've been setting up with commercial, private money, hard money, business lenders. So there is a wide range of products that I'm trying to put in my wheelhouse, because I know that, this side of it is where, it's going to keep things going for a little while. So, I mean, and, residential, of course, right now is a hard sell. So that's what I bring to the table. I'm looking forward to working with everyone.
Yeah, this is exciting, guys, to get some really good experience. especially like on the underwriting side, because guys, in the 16-week program, we're going to be covering a lot of that. You guys saw the schedule that I put out, and I'm going to be getting a lot of that. And I have some few people, but having somebody who's got, has kind of been there, done that. I've just happened to do it, have a lot of the notes from the underwriters I've worked for. I mean, that I've done on deals that I've broken for. So, people at Kogo and stuff like that, that I've done deals with, just on their notes when they send it back and trying to communicate. But having somebody that's done that, especially at Wells Fargo, I mean, you guys might know they're one of the top 12, 10 or 12. I think they're in the top 10, along with JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs and all that. So it's to have some, people like that experience. And obviously, Wells Fargo has some serious issues as a company. We've all heard about. There's a lot of that. So we'll kind of leave that to the side.
And
So
I just to piggyback on that, I tell people all the time, I'm like, they have definitely had their problems. I personally feel like, and I had said what I would have done if I had done a risk analysis on them years ago, and I had said either I would have broken the mortgage division up into maybe 5 smaller companies, or just, and I think they're too entangled with some other things to exit the business altogether. But yeah, I definitely would have broke it up years ago. But there's something to be said for a company that, is, approaching what 100 years history. So yeah, there's something that comes along with that.
Yeah, no, exactly. And it's like, JP's been around since JP was, things like that. His dad, you guys see the history, like on History Channel, The Men Who Built America. Not saying about the women didn't, but that's a great show. My dad watches that a lot. And JP Morgan's, incredible for what he was able to do. But so tonight we're really we're gonna talk a little bit about what the program is going to be starting in July 10th and 12th, because even though those of you who've been in it for a couple months, or we've had a lot of people from the 2021, 2020, Eugene is back, a few other people are out there. Robert Neighbor and Cameron's doing his deals, all those guys. We're doing something, we're really taking it up a lot, a huge level, because I'm going to be uploading. You guys see a little bit today, a little taste of it this morning. I'm going to be putting a lot of stuff. Now, I'm not going to be putting it in the main group, because that's going to make it really convoluted, where conversations will get mixed in. So I'm going to be using, like I said, the guides area, the files tab area, and then there's the chats area. People have had a problem finding the chats. They're there. So I'm going to show you, kind of show you guys how to find the chats. The chats are going to be where I put a lot of the videos, where I'm going to put, like, tonight's video will be in the chats, just like the other 25 videos we've done since January, where people can go, if you're in the program, you'll be able to go to the next day and watch the video, or if you just want to watch it for recap to see it again. Files tab is where all the documents and everything's going to be downloaded, all the contracts. We've got another like almost 200 items that I've got to upload for you guys. I'm trying to do it slowly so you guys don't get overwhelmed. Guides is where I'm going to take it piece by piece. I have 1,000 words or less. You have to be 1,000 words or less per post. There'll be a title. So we do cover everything out of the funding guide. Is basically every real estate strategy and every asset class. So if you're looking to do seller carry or subject to, it may have 5 or 6 different areas that it gets into for funding them, different strategies for funding them. So basically, this is going to be almost everything that anybody's going to do in real estate. So when you go to these other groups and look at subject to, or you look at seller carry, everything's going to be in that area where you can just scroll down. You'll have the title, and I'm going to put it where it's consistent, where they're together. I don't want to have them spread out. So it's going to take me, you're going to see a lot of that next week, over the next week while we're off. While you got, the only day I'm really going to be, other than tomorrow morning when I'm doing my VA and my Army stuff for the implants, the only day I'm going to be out of pocket is going to be Tuesday, July 4th, like everybody else. But you guys see me every day. I'm posting every day. So I'm going to be putting a lot of that stuff in there, where we got about 10 or 12 people considering joining the group right now. And so they can still join for the $3.99 through Friday night. And then Saturday, we are changing it to, we are doing the price adjustment. People have been telling us to do it for a while. I've been wanting to do it for a while, and now it's time. We got like 70 people, so I feel pretty good about what we've been able to build. And that doesn't include about the 20 people that aren't here from 2020, 21, that, we didn't do anything in 2022. And so we got a lot of stuff going on there. So you guys are going to get more curriculum and more information, more resources than any other group, because I've been collecting it for 6 years, and you can download every document you need, every contract, every agreement, every template, make it your own. They've all been lawyered up. They're good. And, securities attorneys have looked at them. We've talked about, the different attorneys that I'm friends with that have looked at everything. So you guys should feel pretty confident. And if there's something out there that we need, I know we've got the resources to get it. We've got a lot of experience in this group, and take advantage. we're also setting up like the program with, we've had a number of people tell us they have 20,000 or they have 50,000 or they have 100,000 to put in. So what we're going to be doing is putting a committee together. I'm going to be doing that over the next couple of weeks. There's a couple of people here, obviously we want on it, and maybe seven. It's probably going to be about 7 to 8 people. Maybe we have a committee of people that actually are more geared up to being the people that broker, the people that have to structure deals anyway, that you can go to talk to Kogo, Vizio, Rock, brokers and the people like that, lenders. That way we can use them, that we can tap into all the people that have money to invest, like EMD, Gap, and Transactional. If they can put 20,000 in, they don't have to put it into anywhere. They keep it, they just have, open a bank account, LLC. It basically goes to the title company, back to the title company, to them with their return. It's going to be a program similar to the ones you guys hear about all the time, where you guys as associates and the people who join can actually tap into that and basically borrow it from other associates. And there's obviously a return. You're paying a little bit of interest on it. But it's going to be very fair and very, easy to work with, because these are the reason I call this associates, and I didn't come up with some cute name, is you guys are like, it's like everybody's like just an associate of each other. Everybody should be able to make money, and we should be able to cover almost every kind of deal out there. So if we're able to pull together all the money, I think just off the top of my head, just from talking to people, I honestly believe we probably have about $1 million. Just from the various people in the group already, what they said they could probably put into it. Keep in mind that they're probably going to prioritize at times their own deals if something pops up. So that's what I said. I'm gonna have the committee, and maybe the committee every week or every 2 weeks will kind of do a capital call, like, hey, what do you have available, and try to help them structure it. And then if you go to them and they need 5,000 or 10,000 or whatever, and do an EMD or a transaction kind of loan, then they can structure it, and then we can help underwrite it. We can do all the paperwork right with the title company, so they can loan it. It gets wired to the title company. It gets wired back to them with their return. If there's a longer deal, Kevin's got his deal right now. He'll touch on it tonight a little bit, but there's a lot of deals out there, guys, to be made, and I think we can make it amongst all of us. We can actually. So I think, like I said, we probably got $1 million. Obviously, with the people, that are brokering, have access to the lenders they're brokering in their capital. But when they become correspondent lenders, think about, we get 10 or 12 correspondent lenders in this group, and the various. Because it's not just Rock, like Eric was saying. Rock is one of the key ones. They're partners Kogo and Civic, but there's other lenders out there doing correspondent lending, and we can start tapping into that and guiding people that direction. You should be able to get enough background and information and knowledge to actually qualify for those, because they're looking, if they're lending their money, it's a little higher qualification than just brokering, because brokering, and they're still, their processor, their underwriter is still handling a lot of stuff. If you're going to be a correspondent lender, they're putting a little bit of faith into you with their software, with their program, that you're making good decisions. And we obviously got into it with our logic lending and our broker presentation. You guys saw a little bit about like risk and, experience, and how some lenders still use credit. Most of them still use credit, at least to tier you. They're not looking to like, hey, they're not going to reject you if if you have medical bills or something. They're gonna, if you have an explanation, because everybody has medical bills. I tell you, I'd be looking at $12,000 out of pocket to do what I'm getting done from the Army. So there's a lot of people out there with medical bills. So a lot of the lenders won't be, they won't be. They're trying not to. Most of the states right now are making it so the credit reporting agencies can't even use medical bills against you. And some lenders will actually still allow you to, if you file a bankruptcy, or as long as you're discharged, in some cases they will still finance your deals. So what we want to do is put this committee together and be able to pull, like ask what kind of money do you have? And like I said, I've got this program today. I've been thinking about it. Like, if you put so much money, it's kind of like amortization or compounding. Doris asked me for more information. I want to put a group of people together that research this, because I do have a concept that I think could really be beneficial. The people who have money, who want to be able to lend at least once a week for 52 weeks, and you let it compound, and guess what you probably have at the end of the year? It's a pretty significant increase, and that isn't what your bank's going to pay you. So we have a lot of that going on right now. So if anybody's watching you're in the program, it's great. You've got all the resources. If you're just thinking about it right now, like I said, you got like 48 hours. And then, it's at $3.99, which is unbelievable we've been doing it at $3.99 since the get-go. So So to kind of break into a little bit of, we'll touch on it real quick on Kevin's deal since Kevin's here, or did he? Oh, he's probably he'll be back on. Okay, so guys, we're going to talk a little bit about, I'm just going to jump ahead until we can see he's back on. So we're talking about branding. I know Robert's on tonight. He asked about that the other night. Other people have asked about, a lot of people are having problems with branding and getting messaging out. So you see, I posted a little bit of that today as a teaser. I'm going to put like a lot more stuff over the weekend. You really, you guys are in every real estate group. That's where I probably met you, probably heard about me, things like that. So you guys know how busy Facebook is, social media in general, with real estate investment groups. Everybody seems to have one. Jim and John have probably the best one, 320. They'll hit 320,000 people this week. There's a few other ones that are good. Helena McDonald, who was in our 2020 program, she has the group of 38,000 people in it. She took it over. I helped her take it over at the same time, along with Jeremiah Fitzsimmons and Jandy Fitzsimmons. They took it over. It was basically a train wreck of all the scammers and all that stuff. We managed to kind of get it under control, and we can message people in there now, and we can actually engage people. In order to do that, we had to actually start doing live videos, introducing themselves as the moderators and the admins, because they had one admin that was a digital marketer guy. He had a different intention to use it, and then it got away from 38,000 people, and there's one guy, and he's not very there. You know how that can get wrecked real fast. So what we encourage people to do, what I'm encouraging people, obviously, people need to look at their, what you have for your business. You have your business name, you have your LLC or corporation, which is strongly advised, especially with a lot of lenders that we work for, we're going to broker for, will require you to be an LLC or corporation. They want you to be an entity. They will not lend to you if you're just an individual. So you want to have your domain, your email address, a business email address. That's going to get, especially if you're talking about any kind of thing with money, brokering or lending, people trust you if you have a business name. You guys see all the responses if somebody has Gmail and Yahoo. I have a Gmail. Doris has actually emailed me my Gmail a couple of times. So I have my personal one. I try not to use it for the business unless it just happens to be, I try to separate a few things, obviously personal life. In this case, I was having an issue with, sometimes the vendor or something. But so you want to have a business address. And the thing about it is also, trying to have a logo or something like that. If you guys need a logo or something, Zson can do it. But you guys need to hook up with Zson. He's in the group. He's in Pakistan. I met him on 5 or 6 years ago. He's solid. He can do websites, business cards, business branding, all that stuff. He's done a lot of stuff. I've probably sent him over 100 people. So I'll put his information in there, and you guys, he's in the group. So you guys can just @ZEE and he'll pop up Zson. And he's awesome. Just remember, he's in Pakistan. So, obviously the time difference, but the guy's incredible. He's well polished. He's fluent in, he can do a lot of stuff, and he'll give you his Fiverr link. So I recommend people like having, if you don't have to go the full website, you could do a landing page, or you could not even have to do one. Get a logo and use it, make a tear sheet. You can use Canva. I know some people said they have some things with Canva. I may do a thing on Canva. I have Canva, but I just, you guys see the stuff I kind of do is kind of, I think it's just, I try not to do it as, I want to still seem like I'm a person working on my own business. Like I'm not, so I do a lot of stuff like, little ads that I do, the AMA stuff and all that. I have my pictures, a few images and stuff I use. But I think you need to have like a tear sheet or some kind of thing that introduces yourself. And when you start lending, if you're going to lend your own money, this will do a tear sheet. If you're going to be brokering, maybe put a few key items on there. What people, hey, I fix some flips, and I do loans, or I do this, whatever you do. Put a tear sheet together. Put your contact information. If you have I don't recommend putting your cell phone number down there. Some people can get like a voicemail or one of those free numbers where people can leave, text. There's all kinds of options there, but we can get into there. So once you get past that key level, and I can give you guys all the providers, there's Namecheap, GoDaddy, Network Solutions. You guys know them all. So it's like, I don't really have to go into it too much. Yeah, exactly, Zson. Exactly, Z. Zson hardly ever does sleep. I swear to, you're right. The guy's like, he's awesome. And he has a few people that work for him. So I've always suspected maybe sometimes it's somebody in his place. There's like 10 or 12 people that work in that. He's in, what's that city? I'm trying to remember, Lahore. Yeah, that's where he's at, because we had a discussion. Ayeshu, he's one of our associates, joined a few weeks ago. She lives in Dallas. She's from Pakistan. So she's actually in Dubai. Actually, I posted something for her today because she's in Dubai and she had a hard time accessing the group while she was in Dubai. So Zishan's awesome though, guys. You love Zishan. He'll do anything for you guys, especially that you're, drop my name or just hit him up in the group and then he'll give you the fiver. He'll take care of you. He's incredibly on customer service. He'll do the revisions. He'll get it right. And you guys probably see him posting a lot of places. I didn't meet him on Facebook. I met him on Fiverr. So, but I see him on Facebook all the time and a lot more. He does a lot more of the things. He does some roofing companies and some stuff right now because he got referred to some of the people I knew from when I did the roofing industry. And obviously we had that big hailstorm in my hometown last week. It's my first time we had hail. That was like just big. It was like horrible. So when you get into branding, the things that I really talk about is using your what they call your social hammer. It's like your opportunity to reach the masses. Obviously, you gotta be respectable. And Jim or John's good, and you want to post your social media if you're doing anything, it's cool. They will do that. So that's a great thing. Sharing Saturday. Look at those groups that you're members. Like I said, it's a very professional group, but they have 220,000 people, so your reach is pretty good. You can talk to a lot of people. What I recommend is like what I've done. When I started brokering in 2017 and then into 2018, when I took the private money broker course, I started, I got my group. I started a Facebook group called Private Money Funding for Real Estate Investors. I ended up having 5,000 people in it by the time I turned it over to Joseph Maracha. That's not, I don't think exactly know what pronounces his name, but he, basically he took over Reddit during the pandemic when I started really just, he wanted to do a different thing with it. It got to 5,000 people. It was hard for me to moderate it at that point because I was still a moderator just by myself. 5,000 people is a lot of people, but I was able to build up a thing where I was able to broker all the deals that I did, basically having a Facebook group where I was able to talk to people about lending, and I was able to get a lot of clients that way. And I was able to present all my information. Yes, I'll tell you guys why I shaved in a minute for those of you guys who just joined us. So you want to have a Facebook page for your business with your business name. You want to have a Facebook group with your business name and say, hey, this could be ABC Fundings, whatever, private, make something so at least attracts people. Make it private but visible. Eventually you could take it when you get enough people, you could start making you could decide on visibility, because obviously you don't want to have a public group for this because you guys know what. You guys see all the other groups that get where it runs away from the moderator, the admin, and they lose control of it. Then it's hard to get it back. You can get it back up to a certain point, but it's hard. Think about what Helena's doing at Jerry and Jandy and Jeremiah and all them and Frank Mediate and myself. I go in there and I post, but it's a brain damage trying to run people out, trying to go through, because it's hard. You can't go through 38,000 people to decide who to kick out at that point. You have to catch them, and you do enough of them to make a dent where people see your work, and the people that are real. You make live videos. And it's important, guys, to make live videos. It's important to have to do Facebook lives. It's important to have a Twitter, and now you can get the Twitter blue check. I know it's an expense, $8 a month. I know they also have a community now, which allows you to build. Elon's like, I'm going to let people build groups and stuff, things that they weren't letting people do before. Obviously, he's got a whole different, he paid $44 billion. I guess he can, I think everything that he's doing is awesome. I also suggest having LinkedIn. Why? Go to the files tab, get the CSV files that I have there, copy them, download them, then go import them into your LinkedIn and see how fast you have 5,000 friends that are at private equity firms, family offices, hedge funds, endowment funds, pension funds. You may never need them. You may never be trying to raise capital for them. Most of those won't actually give you capital for real estate deals like you're doing. But guess what it is? It's kind of it's some reputational capital. What other people you're talking to on LinkedIn, you may find clients, you may find investors, lenders. They go to your page and go, hey, this guy knows Jared Birchall. Well, does anybody in here know who Jared? The people who haven't heard me mention him before, Jared Birchall is Elon Musk's family office guy. So imagine, you can he's pretty important when he manages $200 billion. But, that's the extent of the rule. But if you guys go in there and you got 5,000 friends, that looks really good for reputational capital when you're trying to relationships with business relationships. So that's reputational capital. That's just important as anything else. Cool, Eric. I appreciate your time. So everybody, like I said, Eric is in the group now. So if you guys want to talk about any kind of deals with her, she's got a ton of connections. So great resource. So just reach out to her in the group. So thanks. Have a great
Have a
night.
good evening, everybody. See you later.
Well, yeah, no problem. So yeah, so that's important for you guys to build those groups, to have your own groups, because you can start bringing in people, and then you can invite, people. I'll come in. You guys need somebody, like you're trying to, maybe find deals, and you want to talk credibility about, hey, I can get these deals funded. Invite Willie in, invite Erica, invite, the people that are brokers or the people that are going to be lending money in our lending program. And so that way your sellers and their sellers agents or whatever see the credibility that, hey, this is my person, and he knows me. You guys know each other. You're associates, you have relationships. And you guys see that on all the groups, and people start talking about how you find lenders and investors. They're people they're people you meet, they trust you, they like you, whatever. It's hard to do it. I've gone to a lot of real estate meetings locally, and it's like I can tell you off less than my fingers on my hand, and how many people I actually met there that were lenders. I mean, a lot of people were looking for money, and it's just I went to them all in that first 2 or 3 years I did this. I got tired of just going to local meetings because I was doing too good on social media. It was just like a waste of time for me to go to a Denver meeting. And I went to all the ones out there, Group Pockets and Meetup and all that stuff. So I got really good because I really took the time to do Zooms and talk to people about their situation before I got them under a non-exclusive contract. Not really an agreement with them. As I'm their broker, I represent them. I only get paid when they're successful. And my job is to take them through the closing. I get paid by the lender by the title company at closing. I don't get paid a penny by them. So I had to make them feel comfortable working with me, that I work for them. That's 100% on contingency. If you're brokering money for a lender, you are pretty much on contingency. Your commission is contingent on your success of helping your client. And I would rather have a client, and I will, and a few other people can attest to this. You'd rather have a client before they bring a deal to you, so you can help them structure their deals. That way, you got a seller that's happy, and you got a lender that's happy. And when those two are happy, that deal is getting funded, that deal is getting closed. And you are, as a broker, getting a commission. If you're a borrower, your deal's getting closed. Now you can go do your rehab, your value add. And believe me, we've got all the resources for people who, if you're not on and you're just watching this, we got all the resources for that too. We got the scope of work, form fillable scope of work documents. We've got all the raw schedules. We got a ton of resources. I'm doing some AMAs in July again, on how to find contractors, how to work with contractors, some resources. We're working with Scope Technologies. There's a lot of resources coming down from that as well. We've had them. We talked about it. I did contracting. I kind of transitioned to this during the time frame. So it's like literally I was brokering money for people I was also being their contractor for. So I was like, double dipping in a way. And it got a little, just a little interesting in that situation. I wouldn't do it again, because there's some little, I started wondering about conflict of interest, and I was fairly new at the time at this, where I was very experienced at that. I've loved that industry so cold turkey that last week I was like, that was the first time I wasn't outside yelling, hey, like that scene in Tombstone when Kurt Russell's out in the rain going, I'm coming and hell's coming with me. I used to do that when it was hailing and rating, like I'm making money. It's hailing, somebody's getting their house beat the crap out of by hail. Hey, I was told him it's like, hey, it's like, you get a brand new roof and paint job and windows on the insurance company. So a lot of that's what reaches, and you want to use a lot of this stuff I posted in the group. We have text ads, we have visual ads. I posted a few of each today, but you can use ChatGPT and you can go through there and you can use prompts and ask them to create you ads. Hey, can you generate an ad for me for Facebook about, that I offer, that I can broker for fix and flip or I can do this, or whatever you do, it'll come back and give you like 10, you can ask it to write you 8 to 10 different ads. It'll come back and give you like 8 to 10 different ads, then you can copy and paste them, into Word, and then you got them in Word, or you got them somewhere you can just continue to copy and paste into Facebook. You can have ChatGPT 3 for free. OpenAI, I think it's OpenAI, forget it's .com or something. But you guys can go find OpenAI, get it for free, and you guys can actually just generate a ton of ads and just keep changing them up so it looks fresh. And you want to go into a group and you want to really just start, ask people a lot of open-ended questions. A lot of people I see make mistakes, and I think a lot of people are worried. You guys have probably seen me the last couple of weeks. Like I want to create, like, remember AOL had the voice, you got mail. I want to say you got gurud. A lot of gurus. I mean, the people are out there, and the people that pay them 10,000 or whatever they're paying them, they're like the guru walks on water because you just paid him $10,000. So no matter what the guru says, so when the guru is wrong, it's really noticeable that some gurus don't know. There's some things they don't know, but they get so set in their ways. Like the seller only community, or you guys know the subject to community is brutal, and I think they actually do hurt. I do think that they hurt some people because I think that some people like wholesalers and subject to are definitely not. They're definitely, like, hey, we're going to go and get these people at their worst moment and, try to get it as low ball as we can. And obviously everybody is in this business to make money, but I think on some cases we can still make really good money by sometimes doing the value adds and the rehabs the right way and learning comps rather than going and getting somebody's house at, their worst possible moment, or trying not to help somebody. Because you can do a lease back where you get the house, they don't have to move. So their neighbors aren't seeing them move, going, hey, what's going on? Maybe their neighbors didn't know they were in foreclosure or something like that. And now you could keep them in their house, lease it back to them for 2 or 3 years while their credit gets fixed, while the situation gets reversed. And guess what? Then they're buying it back from you. So you are making a little bit more because you're going to make rent payments. You're gonna make a payment when you sell it back to them. You're going to make money back. So there's a lot of resources out there to do that, lease backs. And I think, in my opinion, a lease back is I think a lot better situation for everybody than, say, a subject to. I know it's a popular strategy and all that stuff. So, it's just a lot easier to do that. But when you are out there advertising, you need to look at it like your social hammer. This is your chance to go out there and establish yourself and try to, like I said, do the visuals, but also make the tear sheet, make the visuals in like Canva. Because you can use the free version, and if you guys need a little bit of help with it, hit me up on a call, and I can actually try to walk you through a little bit of it. What I know, I'm not an expert on it, but I think I've done pretty good for what I'm pretty happy with. And there's a few things I would like to tweak, and a few things I haven't got. I'd like to do a deeper dive into some things, but so I'll say that I like Canva a lot, and I'm on my 4th consecutive month of free trial. There's a way. They keep going, hey, you want to cancel? Hey, we'll give you another month. I think I finally will have to pay in July. My first month, but at Canva, I like Canva. So you guys want to do that? You guys want to do a lot of Facebook Lives and just introduce yourself and do it like an executive summary and like an elevator pitch. Give me your elevator pitch. And I posted a little bit of something about that today. Elevator pitch and executive summary, introduce yourself. And this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm about. This is how you can reach me. You want to tell them, your story, why you're doing this, and have a little bit of philosophy behind what you're doing. Tell them your story. People like the story. They want to hear about your background and all that stuff. So I think what people fail to do in this industry is this, like I said, use it as a social hammer to and be consistent. Post something every day so people know who you are. And then get them over to that page and that group that you start, because that's where you start. Even if it's slow, you might get 5 people there in a month or something, and maybe the second month you get another 7 people, and boom, one day all of a sudden you're gonna have 100, 200 people in there. You're gonna have maybe 10 of them are gonna be people you're gonna do deals with out of that group, and so that's where it builds up, and you start getting credibility. Do a YouTube channel; it's free. Then when you get you get your YouTube channel. Even if you don't have thousands of followers, you're not monetized. You still can put videos out there. You can put reach. You can sit there and if you're doing deals, you can start putting pictures on there and making videos, and you can do stuff with your iPhones and stuff. I mean, that's what I'm doing. I'm not out there trying to monetize mine. I mean, you guys have all been to mine. I'm not trying to it would be, you have to have 1,000 subscribers and you have to have 4,000 viewing hours to actually monetize. And then you might get $50 a month, $100 a month. Although I just saw a guy who did a barbecue, how to make barbecue sauce, and he got 3.3 million views. So he probably made like $10,000 off of the ads for it, which is like ridiculous. I'm like, homemade barbecue sauce in his kitchen, 3.3 million views. So there are some ways to, I mean, if I was going to monetize that, I'd do it with my hot sauce business. Because people like hot sauce and barbecue sauce, and even guys go to the barbecue, any of the barbecue or the steak restaurant videos and stuff, and you see the millions of views people get. So I think what people need to do is just like I said, you got to be consistent and you got to be out there and you know, it's just hard to deal sometimes with obviously you guys know there's a couple of different, you know, wholesalers a little bit aggressive and you know some other people, so you kind of got to understand that if you're new to this, if you're experienced, you've obviously seen it, but you've got to be visible. You got to be, and you got to be in Jim and John's group because that's probably, like I said, it's the best group out there. When you got 320,000 people, you're going to get a lot of, and you're going to see me a lot. You're going to see Willie a lot. I probably cross paths with Willie about 30 times a day. I mean, literally in different groups and posting different things. And if you're not as busy, I mean, you get some people still have full-time jobs or other businesses, families, and all that stuff. You can still, you know, post a couple times a day or something, or just, you know, throw something in there. Or you guys see me, you know, my ones that I usually do early in the morning when I'm usually like at, you know, going to get coffee or something, and I'm doing it from my car. And that may be 2 or 3 minutes while I'm in my car or something like that. I just try to give everybody, here's an update, here's what I've got going on, things like that. Just, you know, so people will see me every day. And it's important for people to see me because I'm especially, I'm like putting this group together that's going to have access to all those resources and the money. Because I'm telling you, legitimately, honestly believe we have $1 million between all the people in the group already have told me they have money they could put into deals for EMD and GAP. So I think that's what's going to make this the most attractive group. There's that other group that you guys hear about, but I think our group is going to probably end up being 100, 200 people. We're not going to go more than that as far as this part. When we expand, it'll be the virtual platform I've talked about and doing the AI platform. If the virtual platform will be a subscription based, so people will basically just get a subscription and it's all pre-recorded. For the most part, 95% of it's going to be pre-recorded material. You know, there's still going to be live stuff. So I'm just really excited about being able to produce all this, you know, being able to put all this content. I probably got 1,000 pages of information to condense and post in the, you know, and then I do have the documents at the end. Everybody will get to download those documents. The one of the things I found is a lot of people, I do the presentations and people download stuff. There's no way for me to actually tell on Facebook if somebody's downloaded things, but I think a lot of more people want just, you can go in the Facebook group and you can go, hey, I want to do subject to or seller care, and you got those 5 or 6 areas you can read through, and you can pretty much get it, you know, and then you can screenshot if you need it. But you'll, at the end of everything, you're going to get all of the data. I mean, like literally the downloads. And if you're new to this, if you're new to the group, you haven't joined officially yet, where you're in the actual Facebook group, the files tab right now has over 70. We got the loan analyzers. We got a cost of capital calculator, and all the calculators have instructions that easy, like what to put in for codes. It's right there, plain in black and white. And we got a multifamily syndicator. We've got everything, buy and hold analyzer. We got short-term rental analyzers. We got the loan officer calculator, which is great for flips, cash out, refis, you name it. So we've got all these resources you guys can download right away. And that's what I wanted to make sure we had value. The second somebody, you know, pays, I get payment confirmation, I'm sending you 3 ways to get into the group, because that's what Facebook sucks, to be honest, that way. But I send you the 3 ways. You're in the group, you can immediately access everything. And I'm visible every day. So I'm not like, and so I'm building this whole team, guys. Like I said earlier, I'm going to put this committee together of people like Erica, Willie, and some other people that work with Kevin and I to basically kind of pull this money together and then get these resources. And then because they're brokering, or anybody else that wants to broker or is brokering, or anybody else is lending or wants to lend, can actually then participate in that. Like, okay, I've got a deal I need $10,000 for. They go to the committee and the committee will go, okay, so and so in the group has pledged 20,000. Let's go to them and do 10,000. We'll do all the paperwork right, make sure everything's done to the title company. There is protection. You know, there's obviously outs. You know, you can get out. Somebody who's putting money in could actually get out. You know, obviously, if they're doing, you know, they have to meet all the requirements. It has to close. And then, of course, if you put money in the EM, you know, deal and it's supposed to come back to the title company, sending it back to you, you're dealing strictly with the title company or closing agent or attorney. You're not. Nobody's ever wiring anything directly to anybody. So I think we're going to put the things, like I said, we're probably going to have $1 million liquid. like literally available for deals, and we're going to try to help people stretch to that. And then anybody who starts making money and wants to maybe start doing that eventually can do that, because I want this group, if we got 100, 200 people in it, we have $1 million. I mean, it can help with a lot of the minor parts of deals. So I'm pretty excited about that. So I know we got a lot of people in here tonight, so let me just go ahead and I know a couple people are new. Let me ask Sean and Everett. So I don't know, Sean, I know I probably talked to you like 20 times over the years. I think so. I'm not sure if I have or not. I know I've seen your name in a few places. So, and then we got Everett's also newer. And then I'll kind of introduce some of the people that are around. Robert, you've been in there for a couple weeks. So then we got Zeke, Wooly, and Doris, and of course Chris and Sherry. You guys know Chris has actually come to Evergreen a couple of times to meet up with me. He's actually the only one in the group that's had my hot sauce. So
The hot sauce. It was really good.
yeah, and I got 47 flavors. So it's awesome. Different heat levels. Oh, that includes barbecue sauces and salsas and all that too. But we got so much going on. Willie, what are you seeing out there right now, lending wise? Anything exciting?
Nothing really exciting. They are pretty much doing 80%, 85% on the DSCRs. Just like they're saying, everything's gonna be different depending on who you're brokering for or who you're dealing with. I don't like to make promises to people because you never know. Some people are going up to 85% in some cases, like the guys I'm dealing with. They will go up to 85%, but typically they're doing 80%. I'm seeing on EMD transactional funds, we got set rates for that from 0 to 5K, 5K to 15K, we're going up to 50K with no issues whatsoever. Anything over 50K, we probably need to have a conversation for the EMD because that's a bigger deal. I know that on commercial, it takes a little bit longer to close those deals, but on residential, those funds can be readily available for those transactional. So we should have no issue whatsoever with anybody getting transactional funds. I've got unlimited funds for that. Unlimited.
And then of course we got the funds that the members are going to be pledging, the associates that have money. So that's going to open us up even more, and be able to deal like maybe even on Kevin's deal and stuff that he's working on. So I know he's working on a few things today. So there's a lot of stuff going out there, guys. I think we're just going to be opening the door to all this. As I said, if the associates come through and they pledge, we come with $1 million, that's in addition to what Willie just talked about. That's through his sources already. And then he's got his lenders. And then when he says correspondent lending, and then when Erica, think about Erica, 25 years. I mean, she's been doing this. She's got a lot of contacts out there. And we've got guys in the group, Simi, Bill Johnson, Gabe. You guys have, Gabe's doing $30 million a year with business, lending and brokering. He's huge in that. We got Robert Newburn's $100 million in multifamily real estate. He did the 2021. I've mentioned Cameron before. Guys, I'm trying to get Cameron on. Cameron's got a queue. Cameron's like 26 guys, and he's putting together 50. He's doing 50 single family residents at a time. I know. Will, have you talked to him yet? Have you talked to him yet? Oh, no, you're still on his way. He's still on his queue. Cameron's so busy. So the kid was like just out of college in 2020. He took our class. This is the first one we did. I'm still not as polished as I want to be. 2020 was really raw. Just out of college, and the kid's now got investors and partners, probably 26, 27 years old, and he's doing 50 single family rental. He can help you get 50 rental properties at one time. It has to be in the Midwest. You got to have a 660 credit score, and you basically get the purchase loan, the down payment loan, and you get sometimes cash back at closing. So yeah, I know it took him a month to get back. I know, guys, he's busy. Just get on his list, and then just remind him. He's cool. And then, hey, use my name because, obviously Cameron is awesome, man. The kid came out of nowhere. And all of a sudden I didn't talk to him for like a year, and he's got this deal done. And I'm like, oh, crap, that's like cool. 50 rental properties. So then you got your assets. You can actually, in about a year, 2 years, they're seasoned. You can refi, you can cash them out. You can use them across closation. You can sell them. and then you can basically go and put that money into whatever else what you actually want to do. If you want to do storage or some STRs, or you want to do multifamily, you've got 50 rental properties. In a couple of years is going to appreciate in value pretty good. You've got your income and your cash flow. I mean, literally, you can start doing all your T12s and all that. Cameron's in the group. It's let me put you guys' name in there, and then I
Yeah.
will try to I'll put his name in the group for you guys so you guys can find him, and then tomorrow I'll try to pull up his actual. I'll just find him. Just go at Cameron. So if you guys just put like at Cameron, he'll respond. Just tell me you want to get on the list. You can find him and get on his list, guys, because I know Zeke's been. It took him a while. He's just busy. He's not blowing anybody off. Yeah, so you're getting some 5 to 15,000 per unit back at closing. So imagine 50 units. If you're getting just 5 back, you're getting 250,000. I mean, you're getting 750 and 15K. I mean, if they all average that, I mean, you guys can sit there. You got some cash back. You can do some work on it, and whatever you want, guys. Cameron Barry. So this group has a lot of resources, and we keep getting stronger. And I think we're gonna go to the virtual program, which by the end of the year I'll have that together. I'm also gonna be with the new people. We're gonna make it Cameron Barry, Berry, and it's Cameron Camren, like Cameron. Cameron's awesome, dude. Like I said, man, a young kid. He's really impressive for what he's doing. Obviously, you guys need to talk to Justin. Justin's really impressive. Justin's doing some killer stuff. We got a lot of people out there just killing it. Chris is killing it in Iowa, which is real. He's an agent as well as an investor, so he's got a lot of stuff going on. So we got a ton of resources, guys, and I think we're stronger and stronger. And I think once we have the virtual program, it'd be awesome, even better. Then you guys can facilitate and get part of the revenue cut. So if you go to the files tab, you can actually download Chris Galicki's all of his estimates on our virtual program that he did in 2019. I got like 6 documents there that he did, and it shows all the numbers. Like we're gonna reach almost $9 million in revenue by year 3, and I think now we'll actually probably do that in about a year and a half, and we'll be able to have a couple of revenue pools where all the people that are in the associate program that want to help facilitate and host and present can actually get a revenue cut. That's the goal. It's still not going to be another 6 to 8 months before it's up and running in beta, and you guys all get it you guys will, like I said, you guys will get it all for free for beta testing, and then possibly a revenue share. And then as far as Privy goes, too, Benson is going to be, if you guys contact Benson and just drop my name or something, Benson will give you guys the best deal on Privy. He's got a monthly and he's got an annual. For the new people, like I said, we are doing the price adjustment after Saturday. It's enough so I can actually 1,500. We're going for 399 and 1,500. Because I'm kicking probably 900 back of that to Benson to buy everybody who comes in Privy. I just can't go back and do it for everybody who paid $399. I'd be like in the hole. But if you guys want Privy and want to have the same access, Benson will hook you guys up. And you guys, I did post a video early, about an hour before tonight, of basically one of the YouTube videos that Benson and his people did. And they can show you how they can help you find properties. They can define a territory and areas, specific areas where you're looking to do deals. It is mostly all single family. He doesn't have very much in multifamily, but he has direct MLS access. And when he doesn't, he has some third party MLS access. But 70% of his information is straight from MLS. It updates every 15 minutes, 24/7. And you can find deals in all over the country. And if you want a virtual wholesale or something, you can get really good information. He has an upgrade package. You can actually get a buyer's list, known buyers, and it'll actually show you. You can click on it. He'll show you, and you can see maybe in some of the YouTube videos, because they go through and they show it, they actually will show you that they can find this investor bought this house. You may not have their direct contact information, but it may say AAA funding or whatever, real estate investors. You may find those. So then it makes it a lot easier to go find them. But he has a buyer's list as part of his upgrade package. And I forget exactly what it was. It was a year ago, it was like another $500. I think it was a total like 1,400 if you wanted the Privy with for a year with the upgrade package. And that's like custom coaching and instruction and the buyer's list and all that. So that was why I kept our price down to $399. Now I'm going to $1,500 so I can kick everybody a year who comes in a Privy. And then we're obviously going to be doing some extensions on top of that for Scope Tech, which is another 1,000, and then some other things that'll bring it up to, 3,500 if people want to go all in. But like I said, I've kept it at $399 for a reason. It's just trying to make it affordable because everybody's wanting, it's a good deal. But I said, if you guys want to really excel, Privy's awesome. You can actually show you how to do comps with Privy. And it's so accurate, guys. You can sit there and really, yeah, if you can do your comps, especially if you want to wholesale and just make some money. There's 2 tracks really. You guys can wholesale, but don't do it like, a lot of the gurus teach you where you're like clouding titles and all this stuff. I'm still getting paid no matter what. Go out there and do the title, get the price right. Don't go in there and try to go, I'm gonna take it up from there. I'm gonna buy it 35% and charge the flipper. At the end, whoever's gonna do it 65% of the ARV, you just like double, you just take it from 100,000 to 200,000 and their ARV is gonna be like 350 or, between 300 and 350. You're kind of like, you can get a lot more business making, maybe half of what, so it's still a pretty good way to make money. And then broker. Because broker, you're making money with Vizio and GoGo and Lending One, Lima One. Once Willie and Erica are willing to rock and some of the other correspondent programs, you guys will be able to follow in their footsteps. And it's lucrative. And you guys are, when you have access to $25 million to loan out, how much power that makes you one of the most powerful people in the business. When you can, or even 7 million. I think their credit lines are going to be 7 million, 10 million, 25 million. Like I said about 20 minutes ago, I don't know exactly how they're going to do that. That's what the Togo email from Gary Myers. Gary Myers is the VP of brokering for Togo, and he's the one who actually did my 4-day class in 2018. Gary's email basically indicated 7 million, 10 million, and 25 million would be the warehouse lines, which are lines of credit. And you guys know the mortgage industry, mortgage brokers have warehouse lines. If you guys go to dbank.com or if you go to Scotsman Guide, they talk about warehouse lines. You can actually go to Scotsman Guide and they have a free thing. Obviously get more if you do the paid version. You can access a lot of stuff, a lot of programs. You can sign up for a lot of lenders. Bank is another one, but Bank mostly works with people doing merchant cash advance and business loans. It's kind of like you really don't ever want to get a merchant cash advance because you will never get rid of their, of their calls and their messages in the morning, text messages. I get probably 3 or 4 a day from a merchant cash advance I got from my roofing company 7 years ago. When we had a really bad storm season, the insurance companies on my clients like 80 grand before they have to get paid before they pay me for the work I did. So there's a lot. Like I said, marketing is just really, like I said, using social hammer. I'm going to keep coming back to that social hammer. So see what I post in the group, what I did this morning. I'm going to move a lot of that stuff, like I said, to guides, files, and chats. That way it's not all in the main group. So because I don't want to get mixed in with the normal conversations that happen in the group. So all the instructional, all the stuff in the class will be in those 3 areas. So anybody have any questions or anything or want to talk about anything? This is the time we do it. And then I can also take it off the recording if anybody feels more comfortable talking about a deal or something you need some advice on or help on. That is actually what Mondays are going to be for. Mondays will start, that'll be July 10th and then July 12th. This will start. We'll go 16 weeks every week but Labor Day week through we'll end the week, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving week, the following week. So on November 16th will be the last one of the year. Then we'll pretty much take that rest of the year off at that point. And then when we come back in January, the virtual program will be live, 100% live, and everybody that's in will be in. So you guys will have full access to it. And then we'll have a studio set up at Kevin's building and professional recording studio, and I'll be building all the content there. So it's a Chris, since you've been in Evergreen, it's on that hill when you're driving north after you leave Lariat, you're on the main highway, main road going out of Evergreen. It's one of the most visible buildings off the side of the road. Kevin's actually in the process of buying it.
That's awesome. Yeah,
yeah.
Evergreen is awesome. If you guys get a chance, stop out there and visit Nate and check it out. It's a really cool place.
Well, we'll be doing some kind of a conference or something out there, maybe 2024, maybe a year, maybe at the end of fall of 2024. Those things take a lot of resources and things like that. And I want to get everybody out here, have 100 people or something. And do it in Evergreen. There's only a few places you can do that, but because the hotels rooms don't really add up. we got one hotel. Well, we got some bed and breakfast. We got a hotel that's got like 50 rooms, but then we got one of 200 out by the interstate. But you get, it's just there's not a lot of rooms here. We're about 20 miles west of Denver, so at least people can stay in down there. But yeah, so I mean, like I said, if anybody's watching this not in wants to get in by Friday night, let me know and we can get you in. Anybody's in, guys, like July 10th and 12th. So over the next week and a half, I'll be putting a lot of that information into the group for you guys to prepare for the 12th. And then we're going to keep the Monday format will stay the same, just very loose, open discussion, deal bit making presentations to the in-house lenders. And then we'll have that committee together, and that committee will kind of be like the committee of the room. They'll be able to listen to all your deal presentations and structure things, and they can go off and broker it for you with their lenders, or they can structure it and put it together with our in-house gap, or Willie's got his gap and AMD lenders. So that group can actually just put all these deals together for everybody. And then everybody has money to be a lender or an investor, then they can coordinate with that group too. And, hey, I got $10,000, and that way we can make sure everybody's. I want deals to happen every week. When we come on Mondays, I'm like, hey, we had 3 deals close out. So and it's organically, and that's what this is designed for. Everybody needs to be successful, and that's my number one goal. So if anybody has any questions, I'm game. I'm here. Like I said, and then if you guys need one-on-one help, really the next week's a good time to get a hold of me for that. Especially new people asking about marketing and stuff and social brand, the social hammer stuff. I know people have asked about that to try to help you guys jumpstart your businesses. So keep in mind the next like 10 days outside of July 4th and tomorrow mornings, just hit me up and I can do a one-on-one with you about anything. Everybody have my direct number. I'll put it in the group. My cell phone number. Just kind of hit me up, like text me or message me before. Hey, I need to meet in like an hour, or do you have time? I usually just, if I'm driving or something, I have an app that turns my phone off when I drive. That is my cell phone number. And then if you guys need a hold of Kevin, I like giving his number away when he doesn't know it.
Is Kevin gonna tell us about his deal tonight?
He's actually working on it right now. He's talking to somebody about a second. I will tell you guys what it is right now, a little bit of it. And actually, Willie's been in a lot of conversations with Danny. Some of you guys were in the Zooms in April when Danny came on. My friend in Evergreen, who's the realtor. He's actually a tenant in the building. He's the realtor on the. He's doing dual agency. So he's representing Kevin and he's representing the seller, who's landlord. Danny's awesome. He coaches for the football team and stuff. I'm actually the president of the Alumni Association for our high school football program. So Danny's a really good friend of mine. So it's a really nice Class A building. I can actually give you guys, I'll put the address in there if you guys ever want to look it up. So this is it's gonna be where my office and studio will be. I'll actually be one of the tenants, but with my partnership with Kevin, so we're gonna be in here. So the sales price is 1.3 million. It was actually 2.2 at one point. They had some price drops and a few price drops. It's a Class A building. It's awesome. And there's 2 matching buildings next to it. They're owned by different owners. So it's 3 buildings that all look alike, really nice finishes, expensive. I mean, really good quality construction. And our town is like we're an affluent mountain community west of Denver. So it's all, trees and interface. Chris can tell you all about it. Too. So his deal right now is 1.3 million. He's got a lender for the first, and then he's working on a second right now, second position lender for 260,000 for the 20%, and then 25,000 EMD. So we're kind of working on the second right now, trying to put that together as a second, and then it's 24 months. At 11% is on the first, and then it's going to be with a 6-month extension, interest only. So there's not a whole lot of information that I have that that I can because Kevin's got all that stuff. He's got all the tracking, he's got all the numbers and all that stuff from Danny. But Danny's very much Willie talked to Danny, so he can tell you that Danny's pretty thorough. He knows what he's doing. Evergreen's the average home price in Evergreen is just under $1 million. So there's a lot Danny goes out and sells something, even at just getting 3% or 6%, he's making $30,000 to $60,000 on average commission in Evergreen. And we got a house, we got a house on the market right now for 25 million in our town, and probably 30 houses over 5 million or more. So it's a pretty very much an affluent community. So there's gonna be some other tenants, just like Danny's and insurance agents that's there. And then there's some other ones coming in there. A weather company is actually going to be moving in there. And then Kevin's cousin, Gary, who's part of Terry and Ant and Greg, and there's like 7 brothers and sisters that are his cousins. So for those of you who are brand new, Kevin's family is the Stevenson family in Denver, legendary family. His uncle and his uncle's dad, I don't know how the relationship Kevin helped with, like uncle-in-law or grandpa, whatever it is. Well, he was at General Motors, and they started they were one of the first General Motors training schools for mechanics after World War II, where they trained a lot of the very first mechanic schools. And then Chuck, who's his uncle, was in Kansas City, moved to Denver in the 60s, opened up Denver West Office Park, like 30 something buildings. You guys, it's still there. It's still got the same name, new owners. They sold it 5 or 6 years ago for a considerable amount of money, like 30 buildings. The Denver Marriott West is on the grounds. The National Renewable Energy Laboratory is there. They're a tenant, the federal government. They do a lot of, like, literally there's a fence and there's like White House level security there. It's like the Department of Energy, like doesn't like people, they don't let just anybody go there. They're a tenant. Denver West Village, which is a shopping center that has a movie theater and all that, like a 12-plex. Denver West Commons across the street, a lot of retail, high-end retail. Harlem Mall is another part of the property. But what they also have is Stevenson Chevrolet, Stevenson Toyota, Lexus, Jaguar, Subaru. They lease to Tesla, because obviously, Tesla doesn't have dealerships. They lease the space for the showroom and the storage and the shop for Tesla. So they've sold all their empire. Stevenson's basically over the last 10 years have liquidated. So those are his cousins, and they actually are, I bought a car from them in the 90s. So that's Kevin's background, is basically with his family with real estate and automotive. So he's got a lot of, we got Kevin, we got, Erica, we got a lot of people with a lot of experience. You guys can look at the YouTube video that I did with Robert Newburn. He started at zero. During the pandemic, built a $75 million multifamily portfolio. It's probably now over 100 million. Every time I see Robert now, he's kind of a little bit like Rod Cleef, where he's always traveling now because he's built his empire and he's starting to, have his residual, at 100 million, and he's still doing more. But now he has his time back. He was a police officer in the Dallas Fort Worth area before this, and so now he's got $100 million in real estate. Same way as Cameron. Helena McDonald, you guys know who she is. Helena is like she's in her 60s, probably late 60s. She was in Melbourne, Australia, and she brokers, and she was in our 2021 or 2020 program. But we helped her get her basically established her brokerage and her LLC in Wyoming, so she's legally able to broker in the United States, and she's in Melbourne, Australia. And then we have she's a new member. She's a very experienced person in the private money industry. She lives in Dallas, but she's out in Pakistan right now. Her family's from Pakistan. Ironically, she's in the same town as Zishan. And she joined after, basically she found out Zishan's in Lahore, which is the town where he's at. And so that helped. Zishan's awesome, guys. Like I said, reach out to him if you need any logos or business cards or websites. The guy's incredible. And he's one of the best guys. And I love Zishan because he's very receptive and responsive, like Zeke was saying earlier. People don't think he sleeps. So Zishan. And then he has his Fiverr. So if you ever have to order anything, he'll give you his Fiverr account because that's usually how he does it. And then he does 3 revisions. He has 3 different packages. And like I said, I met him on Fiverr. I never met him on Facebook, but he's on there all the time. You guys will see him all over the place. So if you guys ever see him, and you guys will say, "Hey, that guy's all that's Zishan," and he's definitely in. He'll take care of you if you're in our group. So he'll do a really good job for you. Even if you weren't in your group, he'd give you the same level of customer service. So there's a lot of resources, guys, and it's just getting better. Like I said, I got another 200 documents or so things I'm going to be uploading for you guys, and then out of the 90-page funding guide, and then obviously a ton of stuff that's coming out of. I literally got so much stuff to give you guys. So it's going to take me most of the 16 weeks to get it all in there. I don't want you to get overwhelmed. I don't want people to like go and like, the stuff in the 90 page will be done first and some of the marketing branding, but the rest of the stuff is going to be over the course of you guys see that 16-week schedule. That way you'll get the stuff in the next week, the week before, so you can review it. There's a lot of stuff that, it's just so much stuff. It took me a while to learn this. And you guys can imagine what Erica knows with her background. I've been doing this 6 years and she's been doing it 25. So I'm gonna pick her brain as much as you guys. But yeah, I mean, we don't have much more tonight. But if you guys want to chat or something, I can take off the recording.